What if I told you there was a tour secret that would increase your accuracy, but you didn't have to change your golf swing? Is that something that would be interesting to you? I know it would be to me, so let's talk about what that is. All right, Scott, so how can I fix my ball flight? How can I change the accuracy of my clubs without changing my golf swing? That sounds a little bit like it's not possible. It is. Where you're going to look to do this is in the club fitting. And more specifically, we're looking at lie angles of the golf club. That is going to have, when we're talking club fitting, that has a big effect on dispersion, the horizontal offset of the club. Now, there's other things as well that I'd highly recommend you go get a fitting. If you haven't done a fitting, that's the first step, because head shape, hosel offsets, things like that are going to make a big difference, the weight of the club. So you need to have those a little bit dialed in here. We are basically fine tuning everything as we go through to try to make this a little bit of a more dialed process. So what have we learned that tour players do that average players don't do? Well, when we get a typical fitting, you're typically going to hit, a 7-iron, 6-iron maybe. Then you're going to hit your woods, your hybrid, stuff like that. And that's just kind of the setup that we have in club fitting nowadays from OEMs and all of those types of people. So what happens though is you get fit. Let's say you get fit into a lie angle that's 1 degree up, 1 degree upright. You're somebody that has a little bit of a slice. We're going to try to move the ball a little more to the left. Whatever reason, that's what you have. Now, should that apply to all of your clubs? The answer is it depends. Now, your clubs, when they get ordered, typically they are going to come in that way, but you really need to test them out and see if that's what you need. So I'm going to do that today, and I'm going to show you what we do to make adjustments to make sure every club in the bag is going to work. And this is what tour players are doing. They are adjusting their clubs based on what they are doing for each specific club. Hey, this club, I want a little flat. This club, I want a little upright, based on just what's going on with that specific club. So without further ado, let's get into it. And I can show you a little more and kind of explain this as we go and the effects it has. So I'm going to hit a couple of shots. I'm going to do 5 shots with each club. I'm going to go 4-iron down to my lob wedge, and then we'll take it from there. All right, guys, so I have our data here. We can go over this now, and I'll show you what we will do with this. So the biggest thing you have to know is, again, we are going to talk about lie angle here. I'm going to do a part 2 and talk about your gapping as far as distances and how you can affect that. But today we'll just focus on lie angle. So lie angle is affecting horizontal dispersion. What you're looking for is, if you have a shot that is on the pull side of your target, that's going to mean that your club possibly is too upright. You need to flatten that out. So for a right-handed player, if I'm hitting the ball to the left consistently, then I can flatten that out and try and curve that off a little bit. Conversely, if I was going to the push side or the right side, I can go a little more upright and bring that ball back in a little bit. So we're trying to figure out if there's ways that we can do this and start looking at making some adjustments that are going to fine tune our accuracy a little bit here. So as we look through our shots, not too bad, but we have our little chart up here on the top right side. So me personally, I am somebody that I don't like to see the ball go too far left. I do try to keep everything a little bit to the right, drawing back in. If it doesn't quite make it back, that's fine with me. Left usually leads to long. Long is usually trouble. That's why I try to avoid that if I can. Now, as we go through our chart here, we can actually see I have a couple of shots here, specifically on the 6-iron, that are a little bit too far right for my liking. I'm getting a couple that are really kind of blocking out as we go. So we'll pull up that 6-iron, and I want to see what we can do to help maybe bring that ball flight in a little bit and try to bring in and shrink it down. All right, so we've got the 6-iron here. So we're losing that ball a little bit to the right. So typically what you're going to see as you're going through this, when we are adjusting lie angles, to the right means that club is a little bit too flat. So at address, it's too flat, meaning when it comes through, I'm lifting the club up a little bit more. I'm making it more upright myself. That means the toe is going to want to catch, and that opens the face up a little bit. Now, you might say, hey, Scott, it can't be that much. Well, at 150 yards, if this face opens a degree, that's going to cost me about 5 yards of accuracy. So my 6-iron's going 190 yards. Now we're looking at, 10, almost 10 yards of accuracy if it's only 1 degree. It could be more than that, which we're seeing. I'm getting 20 yards of dispersion to the right. So I'm going to try and make this club go upright a little bit. Right now I have it at standard-ish, but it doesn't really matter what it's at. I need to just take whatever it's at and push this up about, I'm going to do 2 degrees, and then we're going to re-hit it and see what we get. All right, guys, so we've got our new data here. So let's just take a look at it really quick. I've got my 6-iron, which again, we were at about, 20 yards of dispersion to the right. So then we decided to go a little bit more upright. And you can see just in those 5 shots, I brought that lateral dispersion down to 12.7 to the right. So we actually moved the golf ball to the left. So a tweak didn't do anything swing wise, didn't have time to do anything swing wise, right? We really went from the range to the machine, back to the range, and move the ball flight that much. It's actually pretty significant. And what's also nice is it gains some yardage just because we're hitting it a little bit more solid based on what's going on with that golf club. So that is something that we can do. Now, the thing is to work through every club in the set and see if you can do it in a similar fashion, right? See if you can work through, some might be flat, some might need to go upright, some might be good. Now, you also will never get it to be 0. Okay, let's just be realistic. We are just trying to tighten things up a little bit where we can. Okay, so that is what we're looking for. Now, little crazy tour tidbit. This is kind of a new secret that's coming out. What pros are doing, there's a couple of pros that are now doing, is they are finding the club that they actually like the best, and they are making all of their clubs match their lie angle. So there is a well-known player. He loves his 5-iron, hits it like he loves it, how it flies, everything. He's actually bending all of his clubs to 5-iron lie angles. So that includes his wedges, which I think is outrageous to think about. But that is something that they are finding, again, with technology, with gears, all that type of stuff, that is helping them be better at what they're doing to tighten up the ball flight. So something I would think about, get on your launch monitor. The way to do it, hit some shots, get your data, kind of come up with a game plan. If you don't have a loft fly machine, which I understand most people don't, you can come here at Mistwood. They have it, so you can get it done. It is a service that you can do. And I am going to have a part 2 to this video talking about how you can do loft as well and what you need to do to make adjustments. If you're going to go get everything done, you might as well do it in one shot because that's probably going to be the most cost effective for you. But we'll talk about how you can affect all that. Now, obviously, if you want to work on your swing and all that stuff too, this is a way to fine tune things after your golf swing has already been worked on or is getting pretty close and you've had your fitting. If you want to get a fitting, check out the links down below if you're in the Chicago area. And also, if you want to work on your swing, check out this video here that's going to help you make better contact. Better contact on the club face is going to be huge, so you actually know what your ball flight is. So check that out right here. Thanks everybody for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.